Hi guys, it's Angel, your favorite chindo, and today I'm wearing a cute pink top because it's going to be Valentine's Day edition. So, oh my god, my voice. Okay. So, today I'm going to be telling you how to solo date yourself and some self-confidence tips and some tips to be more confident when you're actually solo dating because a lot of people are very shy to solo date. So let's just start. So basically, solo date, you would do anything that you would do on a normal date. And please do not take yourself out to bring your laptop or your work with you and go to a cafe and work because this is not the definition of a solo date. You're not gonna even, get to know yourself or feel that connection with yourself if you do this because it's not solo dating, it's work date. So don't do this. And the very first thing is like when you're on a date, right? When you're going out on a date with somebody, you're not gonna be like constantly like on your phone texting somebody, right? So do not endlessly scroll through your phone, through TikTok, through Instagram, to YouTube when you are doing a solo date. Maybe you tend to do this, like you would go to a restaurant, you would sit, and when you wait for the food to actually come in, you start scrolling through your phone. But this is not the definition of a solo date because you're not trying to spend quality time with yourself if you actually do this. So, a solo date is amazing in so much ways because you get to do whatever you want whenever you want. So when you go to a makeup store and you, for example, you're done, you don't want to see it, you can just immediately leave. If you're not happy in the restaurant, you can even choose whatever restaurants you want to go to. You can order whatever you want to in the menu for yourself, and you don't need to keep others in mind. You just think of yourself. And this is the great thing about being on solo dates is you don't have to wait for somebody, or you don't need to ask for their opinions, and you can just do what you want to do whenever you want to do it and wherever you want to go. So this is one of the benefits of doing a solo date for yourself and get to know a little bit about yourself as well. And you might even realize or recognize more things about yourself just by taking yourself out on a solo date. Okay, so here are some list of some solo date ideas that you can go through if you are confused on what a solo date or what solo dates you can take yourself to. So my favorite thing is you can take yourself on a self-care spa date. So you can dedicate one day just to get your nails done, your feet done, your hair done, do a cream bath, have that massage, do a spa, body exfoliate, wax or something like that, and just basically treat yourself and take care of yourself and do eyelash extensions, maybe do a facial, and just do everything in your power to just take care of yourself and feel happy and in high vibrations. The second solo date idea is to go eat at your favorite restaurant and have a movie date with yourself. Maybe go out to the movie alone. And honestly, I used to think that this is so weird when there was this one time I was in primary school. I think I was in like 6th grade, and one of my friends, she was a girl, and she watched a movie alone, and I looked at her and I asked her like, "Oh, who are you with?" And she's like, "Oh, I just watched myself." And I stared at her. I swear I stared at her as if she was crazy. I was like, why would you do that with yourself? Like, I would only go to places or watch a movie when I'm with somebody else, and I wouldn't do it like just alone. And I'm like, yeah, why not? And now that I grew up, I actually think that solo dating is not actually something to be embarrassed about. I know a lot of people have these misconceptions on solo dates where like if they're alone that they're like not creepy, I would say, but more like that's weird, like that's so lonely, like oh, you're so lonely. But now I kind of view a solo date as in like, how do you do that? Like how do like empowered girls do that? Because I'm usually scared to take myself out on a solo date, right? Like being alone is nerve-wracking. Some people can't even be alone with themselves, sit with their thoughts and actually observe themselves. So I see it as kind of like, oh, that's really cool. How do you have enough confidence to do that, actually? So that's one misconception people have about solo dates. And don't get me wrong, don't think that everybody's in your attention. Oh, why is that girl alone? Because honestly, nobody really gives a shit about you. Nobody really cares about you. Instead, they will look at you as like, wow, this girl is confident and she can do things independently. And you know when sometimes you kind of think like that person is staring at you because you are like, ew, why is she sitting down by herself? But instead, it's the opposite. I mean, personally, when I look at somebody for a long time, it's just because I think they're wonderful or really pretty or amazing, or they have this certain confidence aura that they have that makes me just want to stare at her, you know? And it's not because she's alone or something like that. It's not about something negative, it's usually about something positive. I mean, yeah, there are like crazy people and who acts crazy and that's why you stare at them, yeah. But if they're like a normal person, right? I would only stare at somebody normal. I mean, like, I would just stare at somebody really pretty, honestly, but think of it as a good way, not in a bad way, okay? Nobody really cares about you anyways. Okay, back to the solo date idea. So another thing about the solo date idea is, like I said, like watching a movie with yourself and taking yourself out on your favorite restaurant and just eating your favorite food from that restaurant. Honestly, it will gives you a piece of zen. And I personally love watching movies in theaters, and you get to watch any movie that you want instead of like watching other movies that you actually don't want to do but other people want to watch. So you could do that. And another thing is you can actually stay in and also have a Netflix marathon or cook yourself, bake something really cute or customize like some cakes or something and just basically be in the zen mode. But I wouldn't really recommend this idea just because like I feel like a proper date should be somewhere where you actually go outside. I mean, like, you do need those self-care days at home, but those are easy to do because they're at home and they're not in public. And for me, solo dating for me is you have the confidence enough to go out in public alone. So that. And another thing is just taking yourself out on cute cafes and ordering matcha lattes and basically just reading a book, you know? You know that scene where Carrie from Sex and the City said like about dating alone and table for one, please?
I decided instead of running away from the idea of a life alone, I'd better sit down and take that fear to lunch.
Waiting for someone?
Oh no, it's just me.
Yeah, I feel like that's really inspiring because I barely have enough solo dates to do for myself just because I'm scared. And I hope when I'm saying this, I'm not being a hypocrite, but in all honesty, I barely do solo dates. I think I only had 1 or 2 solo dates in my life, and I've been trying to, like, I'm not trying to be like an imposter or anything, because sometimes I do have imposter syndrome where I'm speaking like this to other people, but I don't do it as much myself. That's why I am somebody who wants to constantly grow. And I don't want to be a hypocrite by saying this because I'm trying to better myself as well. So we're both learning together. We're all learning together. And I really do hope in the future I could be more independent as well, and as well as taking myself out on more solo dates. And this is just a platform where we all grow together. So I hope you guys actually know that. Another thing, a good idea for a solo date is to basically just go to the mall. And when you have, I mean, I'm not saying don't go shopping all the time and waste all of your money, but once in a while, give yourself something. Go to Sephora or like, I don't know, like journal bookstore like Typo or anything like that, or just splurge yourself once in a while is okay to go shopping and try out new makeup palettes or concealers or lipsticks. And you don't have to feel like somebody's waiting for you because nobody's waiting for you. And you're on your solo date, so you just enjoy how much ever time you need in the makeup store or in the clothing section or anything like that. So those are just some ways of solo dating that you can do, and I will list some of them down below as well so you can actually screenshot it and also have it for more ideas in the future. Alright, so we're going into the section about how to deal with solo dating and being afraid to solo date in public. Okay, so there are some fears in solo dating, okay? So everybody always has this mindset, like I said, that when you go out, you have to be with somebody. You have to be either with your friends, you have to be on a date, but that is coming from a lack of mindset, because it is definitely okay to have a date alone or go out alone. Like, this doesn't matter. This is normal now in the modern world. It's not like we're being judged because we're alone. When people are judging you, right, you empathize with them because like they don't have that self-confidence that you have to go on a solo date alone. So instead of being, oh my god, she's judging me, this person is judging me, oh no, instead of being like that, you empathize with them. Oh, maybe this person doesn't have the confidence to solo date, or they don't understand the importance, so that's okay. At least I am comfortable being in my own skin and being alone and enjoying quality time with myself, because at the end of the day, all you have is yourself. So you depend on yourself to always be there for yourself. Be your own best friend. Listen to what your body needs. Listen to what your mind needs. If they're telling you something, if you need rest, if you need mental rest, if you need physical rest, listen to your body, and because she's your best friend. And if you even want to ask for advice to yourself, try to think of scenarios to think about in your head and try to give yourself advice as if you were your own best friend. Instead of thinking like, oh, I'm myself, think of her as more like, oh, I have a best friend inside my mind, and what would I say to that best friend of mine? All right, so moving on to the next topic, I'm going to be telling you guys how to treat your love language and give it to yourself, instead of thinking about the partner that can give you love language, but you have to give yourself your own love language. And this works for a number of ways. Okay, so if you don't know what the love languages are, there are 5 love languages, which is physical touch, words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service, and gift giving. For me, I need everything. But okay, if I really do need to pick one, I would probably say quality time is what I want the most. And usually I think it's physical touch, but honestly, I'm starting to think less about physical touch and more like time that you spend with each other instead. So if, for example, your love language is quality time, then you can do this by having a self-care spa day for yourself and trying to get to know yourself. Basically, just spend time with yourself. Take a day off of work and just basically be in relaxed mode and zen and just spend time with yourself. Take yourself out on dates. Okay, so the next one is words of affirmation. And basically, this is very simple. You can go every day to your mirror and you can basically just affirm that you are pretty, you are loved, I'm so proud of you today, of you who you are. And even if you're sick, you say, I am so glad that I have time to take care of my body and to rest. Or, oh, I look super gorgeous today, you look super pretty. Wow, I'm recognizing that I've done a good job. Just give yourself words of affirmation and look in the mirror and compliment yourself every single day. Another thing that we can do is physical touch. So basically this is very simple. It's maybe like giving yourself a hug. For me, that doesn't really work. Some people it does work. But another way is you could exercise, because actually, even if you don't like exercising is still very important because it makes you feel more confident inside. And if you're exercising your body, because your body is a temple, if you feed it properly and if you exercise, this will be very beneficial for your body as well. Or maybe you could get a massage, do a spa, and you can feel so relaxed in your body as well. And just wipe off that negativity. Sweat it off, girl. Alright, and as for acts of service, this is very simple. You can start with just doing the chores in your house. Just make your house a very clean and safe environment to be in. Or maybe you could even meal prep. So maybe you're very busy the next day tomorrow, so you meal prep yourself for tomorrow and do the acts of services alone. Or maybe or you like sweet things, so you bake for yourself and you give that to yourself. So this is just a form of acts of service. Oh, and the very last, gifts. Who doesn't love gifts? Okay, so I'm not asking you to splurge a lot. If you do have the money or the mental, like the financial abilities to actually buy yourself a gift, once in a while, it's okay for yourself to buy yourself a nice gift. Maybe you've worked very hard, you earned a lot of money, and you want to buy yourself a bag or clothes. So go and buy these things for yourself. Or maybe if you are on a budget, you could buy yourself a favorite drink or buy yourself a favorite food, and this is considered as a gift. Or maybe you could get a gift card for yourself or buy something with a limitation on budget. So these are just ways of how you can give yourself love languages. All right. So another thing I wanted to talk about is basically, when you go into a relationship and you feel like there's this statement where like, if you don't even love yourself, how is somebody else supposed to love you? At the end of the day, you will only have yourself. If you don't love yourself enough, how are you going to like convince people or make people in love with you when you're not even in love with yourself? And this is a very important thing because you need to pour all the love to yourself instead of giving it to somebody else first. Fill your own cup first, and then other people's blessings will just be like an add-on to your cup because your cup is already full. You already love yourself, and this will always be so much easier when you go to relationships, because if that person does not fill your add to your cup, you are already filled with your own self-love. So you don't need their extra topping. It's like you don't need it, but you want it. And this is so much easier because then if somebody doesn't give you the love that you deserve because you can give that love to yourself, then that person becomes irrelevant. And this will basically space out all the men that you don't need in your life, or if they cannot even give you the love that you give to yourself, then definitely this is beneficial in a relationship way, because you know yourself what is the love you need and what is the love that you want, and you can give to yourself as well. So this is very beneficial. Honestly, I think a question you can ask yourself is, would you date yourself? Because if you would date yourself because you have all these amazing and good qualities, this actually proves that you are giving yourself love and you are well aware of what your worth is, and you're not gonna downgrade or devalue yourself for somebody else. And this is really important. So if you have you're a very caring person, you do acts of service to that person, and you basically treat that person well because you treat yourself well as well. So this is really important, guys. I think the mindset you will have, or you have to have, is I choose to be with myself. If I choose to be in a relationship, it's because I choose to. If I am single, it's not because nobody wants me. It's because I choose to be single because I haven't found the perfect person. Not perfect. I haven't found the right person to add on to my cup and give me the love that I want. And your mindset should be, I don't need him, I want him, or her, if you go both ways. Anyways, that is the mindset you should have. Unless they are making your life better, we don't want them. So I wanted to share a little bit about my experience, but I was once in this state where I was pretty much dating this guy for a month already, just trying to get to know him. And this guy had told me, I cannot accept you as my girlfriend if you don't join my church's club. And I just stood there because our religion was different. I'm a Catholic and he's a Christian, and he had asked me to join his Christian church club with him and serve God in his church. And at this point I was just like, sorry, what? Because he's asking me to change for him, and he didn't even ask me how I feel about all of this. And I just feel like, why do I have to change for you? Even if I wanted to change, it's not because you have to demand that from me. It's because I want to, right? It's because what I want, my mindset, right? Because I'm already giving love to myself, and if you're forcing me to do something that I don't want to do, or transfer a religion to what your beliefs are, and have this all requirements that you don't want to date me or try to make this work, and then what the heck? He was basically just forcing me to do this for him where I didn't want to. Thank God in the end he actually respected my decision, and I told him I couldn't do it as well. I mean, I guess in a way we could look at it both sides, right? So the good side about him is that he clearly knows what he wants, and if he doesn't think it could work, or that's his bare minimum, let's say, that's his requirement for having that type of girlfriend, then good for him. But on the bad side is if you are forcing somebody else to do something that you want without considering their thoughts, right? And threatening to break up with them, if they don't want to do something else or give them a certain something, then that's really bad. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and here are the list of some solo date ideas that you can go to when you are experiencing solo date in public. And I hope you like this video, and let me know if you want more tips on anything else, and I'll be showing you a solo date vlog very soon. And me and Muchi want to say bye. Alright, happy Valentine's Day, guys. I hope you have an amazing Valentine's Day. Bye, see you in the next video. Bye, Muchi. Muchi, say bye. 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 Muchi.